let's first of all break down what's causing inflation. I already highlighted the depreciation of the naira. Do we agree?
Depreciation
of the
Naira
naira
is creating inflation. Yes.
it's
No, I would go deeper. What caused the depreciation of naira?
no.
And in fact, we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time. No. We can be more direct. I think we already
Okay, can I ask
this. We talked about it.
Let me just say a few things. Here are the major issues I see. One is the naira weakness. Two is insecurity in the country. If we address those two issues, do you agree that inflation will not be anywhere close to where it is? We'll be far away from where we're currently.
There's also the imported inflation.
Imported inflation is a reflection of the weaker naira, which I said was the first problem.
Because the naira can't defend itself, literally.
And I wouldn't completely agree. There are many currencies that had
This weekend,
the inflation that happened.
yeah,
The inflation that happened, right? Let's go right from the sanctions and the Russian war, right? I think that's when a lot of global inflationary factors kicked in.
but those things have reversed. A lot of those things.
No, they have not.
No. A lot of
First
the
of all,
supply chain issues have been reversed now.
supply chains is only half the story. The Russians were kicked out of the SWIFT use. The two pipelines, well, I'm not sure how many were producing of gas. Still in Europe, it's cheap energy has still closed. They're not supplying Europe. Okay. This in particular,
Gas today, by the way, is less than $2 per million scopes. It's the cheapest it's been in years.
yeah, it's not had an effect on the energy cost over the past 1.5 years, which is two or 3 years, really.
But
Which is the point.
I'm trying to say that if we're seeing global prices now, okay,
Sure.
it's resulted in lower gas prices. Same thing also applies as well to gasoline prices across most markets. They have come down. The reason why it's an issue for Nigeria, the reason why it's still an issue for Nigeria
Exporting
is
and
because we import this product
Yeah.
and our naira is weaker.
We imported these products before the period I'm talking about.
But our naira was
Before the inflation spike we're talking about.
yeah.
I'm talking about what are the new variables that caused our inflation to spike from what was 14, 18%, whatever,
The weaker
34,
the
36.
weaker naira.
The weaker naira is part of it, but it's not the entire story. And even though naira's weakness did come out of the blue and the naira weakened, I think there's some local elements and there's some offshore elements. The local elements include the collapse in the confidence of the naira. I can attest to it from clients and individuals I know that everybody just receives naira and wants to buy dollar with it, and that occurred for the past 2-3 years because of that. And that's
fine. It's not changed a lot in the last 2 months.
It's changed a lot in the last 2 months because of the extreme price of the dollar. I think people got to a point where
I think it's things like the treasury.
No. Rates have moved sharply. So give you a good example.
Fine.
A year T-bills about a few months ago, you'll find for like 10%. Today you can do a T-bill, a year T-bill
15, 16.
at 27, 30%.
Yeah. Fine.
was oversubscribed recently.
Yes. Although I still argue against that effect against the inflation, because again, there is no direct mechanism to any of the real price escalations we've seen. Energy, we took off subsidies last year. It was supposed to have a net effect on our dollar position. Why didn't that strengthen the dollar? There were other factors that we're talking about, some of which we're talking about, that brought inflation in. Now, fine, whatever we value USD today, and I think let me just sum up our position. Like, what we value USD today is only based on the confidence of those that don't necessarily value the Nigerian market, certain Nigerian assets. And I expect the interest rates will help as far as that valuation effect, but not necessarily on a real estate, on economic growth side. Economic growth now is any asset value escalation can be recorded as economic growth.
I think there's some level of hubris in that last statement. I think that it's easy for us to just assume that as Nigerians, because we've got this bounty, reserve of oil, gas, etc., that you mean that, or that implies that the rest of the world allocates this level of value to you. You only ask.
No.
Sorry.
Brothers, I want to buy.
There's a friend of mine that says that you're only as good as your last show. What does that mean in Nigeria's context? Nigeria is producing just 1.3 million barrels of oil a day. We peaked at 2.2, a couple of 3 million. So if you're not collecting foreign earnings or collecting dollars, why are we arguing about this issue of Naira dollar situation? It means we now have to rely on other means to get the dollars. And that's what the central bank has done. By raising interest rates to 30% or allowing internationals to come in and get deposit rates at 30%-ish, okay? You're bringing in dollars that we ordinarily wouldn't have. So far, they brought in, I understand, from what I understand, close to $2 billion.
On the altar of economic growth.